I'm going to beat this and I'm going to fight it. I get to Mexico. I know my family thinks I'm absolutely insane. I brought all my workout clothes, my workout bands, all that stuff. And there was hills in Mexico that I could run. I knew that I had to keep pushing, that I had a really hard fight coming up my way. And I wanted to be as prepared as possible. If that meant working out and staying in shape so I can fight really hard, then that's what I was gonna have to do. I remember waking up out of a dead sleep in sheer panic, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. They were almost like cheering me on and saying, you got this, Natalie, you got this. You're gonna fight this and you're gonna beat it. So I get on the plane with my family and I head to Manzanillo, Mexico. I get to Mexico and I know my family thinks I'm absolutely insane for going on this trip. But my mindset is, why the hell would I stay home and cry about the news I just got? We've planned this vacation for over a year now, and I'm not going to miss out on this ultimate trip with my family because of this diagnosis. I'm going to enjoy this vacation like it's my last because I don't know. I don't know what is about to come. I needed this vacation, especially after hearing news like that. I knew that being with my family in a beautiful place would be therapeutic for me. I didn't want to be home. I wanted to escape reality, escape what I was just told. I get on a plane and I go. The trip was incredible and it was amazing. And we really came together as a family and loved each other more than we've ever loved each other. It was hard going on the trip, but I knew that was best for me at that time. I remember waking up in the middle of the night when everyone was sleeping, which was the hardest part for me, is when no one was awake with me to talk to me. I remember waking up out of a dead sleep in sheer panic, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. Give me Xanax right now. Literally, my heart is beating out of my chest in fear of what's about to come. I continued to work out while I was there because that was the plan prior to being diagnosed. I brought all my workout clothes, my workout bands, all that stuff. And there was hills in Mexico that I could run, which if you look at my personal Instagram, Beauty Boss Babe, there's a video of me running up the hills in Mexico the next day after being diagnosed. I knew that I had to keep pushing, that I had a really hard fight coming up my way. And I wanted to be as prepared as possible. If that meant working out and staying in shape so I can fight really hard, then that's what I was going to have to do. So I ran my hills every single day and I did my band work every single day that I was there in Mexico. And I remember my sister being out there recording me. Like my family and people that came with us were out there watching me run these hills and they're thinking, holy shit, she's out here running these hills with stage 4 cancer in her lungs. My sister was out there with me, just cheering me on and recording me, and it was wild. I remember during our trip, I don't know, it's just a moment of sadness that came over everyone. And I was sitting there and I was crying. And everyone that was on vacation with us surrounded me, holding on to me. They were almost like cheering me on and saying, you got this, Natalie. You got this. You're going to fight this and you're going to beat it. Say it. Say it. Say the words. I'm going to beat this and I'm going to fight it. They had me yelling in that house those words. And it was just such a liberating moment with my family, yet very sad. After the wonderful trip in Mexico, it was hard going home and leaving my family after being with them for a week and just knowing that I would have to face the struggles of treatment and just not knowing, because I really didn't know at that point what was going to come. I had to meet with the doctor when I got back and see where we were going to go. So I got back home, reality hit, and I met with the oncologist. She revealed to me that they had found 2 other spots outside of my lungs, one on my rib cage and then one on my chest on the right side. I knew at this point that if I had let it go any longer, it was just about to take over my whole body. She gave it to me straight that I had a 30% a chance of making it. And the treatment that is the most effective was a 50% chance that it would even work. At that point, I just felt my chances were low and my hope wasn't there. I told the oncologist, look, I want to do treatment as soon as possible. I felt out of control. I felt like I had no control of the situation. I'm used to being in control of everything that I do. Everything that I do in life, I've always been in control of. And this is the first thing that I had zero control over. And it was tough. There was a period of time where I stuck my head in the sand for at least 7 weeks after I was diagnosed. I didn't want to even read about my cancer. I didn't want to know about it. I didn't want to make the appointments. My husband was doing all this for me. It was too hard for me to fathom or even like have to do. I just wanted to just forget about it. I didn't even want to think about it. And then after a while of kind of processing the information, I decided I'm going to come forward and I'm going to tell everyone on social media and everyone that I know about what I'm encountering and what I'm dealing with, because I was looking for support, suggestions, and also I wanted to give hope to those that maybe needed it, dealing with the same thing. And let me tell you, the outpour that I got when I put myself out there was insane. It was insane. I got these bracelets that said "Not Strong," and I sold them for a couple dollars a piece. All the money that I raised from those bracelets, I gave to Fighting Pretty Foundation. And they just really uplift those in the community. And I really loved what they stood for. And so I decided they're the ones that I'm going to support and donate my money to. I remember being in a scan for literally like 3 hours. It was brutal. It was brutal laying there. When you're in a scan, you're in your own thoughts. You don't have any outside noise. You don't have your cell phone. You don't have anything distracting you besides sitting in a tube and in your thoughts. I remember sitting in that tube and saying names of everyone that I love and care about and who I'm going to fight for. And I literally started going down the list of names of people that meant so much to me, which was the reason why I was fighting. I knew I had a lot to fight for. At the time, my most important was my 3-year-old son, my husband, my family. The girls that work for me, I knew they were concerned about their job, if I was going to make it. But I went to work and I told them I'm going to get through this because I didn't want them to think otherwise. I didn't want them to be concerned that I was going to let this cancer take over my body and they were not going to have a job anymore. I had so much reason to live, so many things to live for. I wasn't giving up. So I started treatment. I did immunotherapy, which was 4 rounds of Opdivo and Yervoy. It's a combination drug. Yervoy has chemo in it, not enough to make my hair drop, which I was very fortunate to not lose any of my hair. I did lose 25% of it, but I have a lot to go around. Treatment was brutal. I felt so many aches and pains when I had gone through treatment, to a point where I remember laying on the couch in so much pain that I could not even function without some sort of ibuprofen in my body every 4 hours. They told me I could take pain pills, but I'm not a big fan of that stuff. So I stuck with the ibuprofen and just literally took it around the clock. I had to. I was in so much pain. My body felt like a bruise. Anyone that touched me, it just hurt so bad. I couldn't even pick up my son. I was weak. I remember trying to open up caps of things, like tops, lids to things. And I remember my hands just being so weak that I couldn't even open up anything. I had to have people help me squeeze things out of bottles or turn, like open caps. It was terrible. I had hives all over my body. During my treatment, I worked through the entire thing. Yeah, I was tired. I was exhausted. but I refused to stay home and let this control me. I was still going to do what I loved. And coming to work every single day brought me happiness. I was able to forget what was really going on in real life and just do what I love, which was make people happy and give them amazing transformations. And it brought me so much happiness going through something so tough. It was like an escape for me. And then after the 4th round of treatment, I went into liver failure. I had jaundice. I had to be rushed to the hospital. And they told me that I had to get on prednisone, which was trying to keep the inflammation down in my liver and in my body. And I was on that drug for a year. That drug is a double-edged sword. It's amazing because it saved my life, but also it is a terrible, terrible drug. It's nasty. It brings a lot of side effects. Although I was so scared through this process, I would work out every single day. I had to go run my 3 miles, even though I was so weak. And I would listen to motivational speeches as I was working out. And there was one in particular one that I would listen to that I would play over and over and over again to a point I remembered the words verbatim. It was embedded in my head. I want to play it for you because this right here really got me through some really low points of this journey.
When you feel like giving up, don't. When you're thinking about giving up, don't. When it look like you ain't gonna make it, keep going. When they tell you you can't, come on, man, who are they? When they tell you you're not gonna make it, don't believe them, man. Don't believe them. You got to be relentless. Don't give up. Don't give up. Stay in it. Stay focused.
I would literally listen to that over and over and over again to a point where I believed that I will beat it. I will beat it. And I kept picturing in my mind, it's gone. I did not want to believe any other way. I had too much to live for. I believed wholeheartedly that I was going to beat this. I would picture in my mind feeling that sense of relief that I beat this monster of a cancer. I would have dreams about celebrating that moment that I was told I have no evidence of disease in my body. I believed, and I didn't stop believing.